Tonight, on Be Something Wonderful, how to shift instantly to that ideal version of yourself and the 007 double agent technique to shift identities. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I've heard from a few of you over the last few days that said, Tom, I'm still struggling with this idea to shift to alternative realities and occupy a new version of myself. And it's just because of the 3D reality. I keep staring at that, and then I don't know if I'm really in that new version or if I've shifted realities. I was wondering if you could unpack that. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this tonight and more. Here's what I want to say, is that we're just so used to the typical cause and effect relationship, right? If I have money, then I'll feel wealthy. If I have a special person in my life, then I'll feel loving, right? And we also said that if that's true, if a certain thing or a certain desire can make you feel something, then if you feel something, that can create or attract your desire. In other words, if you can feel wealthy, then you could create money. Or if you can feel loving, then you can create or attract a specific person in your life. Both of those are true, but I want to even go beyond this. It's really beyond that typical cause and effect and effect and cause. It's that cause and effect are one and the same. We talked about this, that there is no time, that linear time is debunked, and that everything's happening at once. So really, cause and effect are the same. As soon as you occupy that state, as soon as you declare it, you are it. There's no waiting for the effect. You are that. Cause and effect are the same, right? You don't even have to go looking for it now in 3D. It's happening, right? And I love this from John 19. We love because he first loved us. I love this. Now, it's not only about unconditional love and forgiveness, although that's powerful, right? We love because he first loved us, because God or Jesus first loved us. We love him. But it's more than that. The idea here is that we are love. We're one and the same with the Creator. We're one and the same with infinity. That there's no difference between the cause and effect here. That even before that we were one and we loved each other because we are love, right? Love made the first move. Hear this, right? Love always, infinity or God always makes the first move. That's why all you need to do, infinity already created it. You already are that. You already are living out that reality. Infinity made the first move. Love made the first move. God made the first move. You already are that reality. You need only to declare that and persist in that you are that. Hear that, right? And so don't resist looking at 3D. That's where it's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen, why? Through you, through you're going to stream that new reality through your new version of yourself. You've now occupied that reality. That's where you're going to see it. So don't resist looking at 3D. That's where the action is, right? So that's the whole idea, guys. Take it for granted, right? That you already are that ideal version of yourself, because you are. Right? You are already that, right? Feel yourself to be it already, and then you will become it, right? Or declare yourself that you are it, and you'll feel it at the same time. These are equal, right? You're going to feel it and become it at the same time. You're going to declare it. Wow, that's big. So let's hit it a little bit more. So, well, that's two. So here's what I want to talk about, because you brought this up as well, that well, maybe it's my beliefs that are keeping me from my new reality, or keeping me from occupying that new version of myself. These hidden beliefs, you call them, right? Or limited beliefs. But here's the thing, guys. The more you search for them, the more you keep them active. The more you keep that old reality active where those beliefs are, right? Stop searching and obsessing over limited or hidden beliefs. Right? Remember, those hidden beliefs or limiting beliefs they only seem really firm and really real because we believe them to be true. We don't even question them anymore. Now you're questioning them. How are you questioning them? By declaring a new version of yourself. They're no longer relevant. You don't even need to question them. They're going to pop up. And then you're just going to observe them and know that they're no longer relevant to your new reality. That's powerful. When you give them attention, you give them more importance in reality, right? That's why. So don't go looking for them. Don't go looking for them, because when you look for them, you make your current 3D reality more real. You keep it all real, right? Because if you keep the beliefs real, you keep the reality real. You can't move from that, right? And even if you say, I have limiting beliefs, that's a limiting belief. If you say I struggle to create my reality, that's a limiting belief. If you say I can't manifest anything, that's a limiting belief. All of that. If you look around and say, well, no one else can manifest anything, or everybody struggles to manifest, those are all bogus limiting beliefs. And the more you want to look for evidence, the more you look for search to prove it, the more you create a reality of just looking around to prove it. You might get scraps of a proof here and there, but you're never going to step into that new reality where you just create it all, right? So you shift in, so that they'll come up, those hidden beliefs will pop up automatically when you shift or occupy that ideal version of yourself. That new ideal version shifts you to a new ideal alternative reality with new beliefs and a new past. It's a new you, new beliefs, a new past, a new you, a new reality. Totally shifted, right? Just observe the remnants of the old beliefs, the old you and the old reality. They're just remnants, right? They're on their way out. Right, you're in that new version. You stand now in that conviction that you're in your new reality and you're in the new version of yourself. Those old remnants don't even make sense. You can just observe them and let them dissolve. Right? They're no longer relevant to who you are. Wow, that's big. So let's continue this. And here's what I want to say. This whole idea of allowing and surrendering, because you keep saying that I'm looking at 3D reality. It's hard to get over it. It's hard to not see it. It's hard to let it go. Well, guys, that's what really allowing and surrendering is, right? This puts you in a fearless mode. What does it really mean? It means don't try to resist the 3D reality. Don't try to let it go, right? Hear this. Just let it go, right? Allow it to be. Right? Accept, acknowledge, and allow all probable realities to be. Remember, that old 3D reality is going to exist. It's going to continue to exist with that old version of you. All realities exist. Creation's finished. All these realities, you're living out infinite amount of realities right now. So when you move into your new reality, that old reality doesn't go away. Remember, you can't get rid of it. There's nowhere to put it. Remember, infinity's full. There's no storage left. Right? It's complete. There's nowhere to put it. You just got to leave it alone, right? And accept the possibility hear this. This is really what surrendering is. Wow, this is big. Allowing. Accept the possibility that you would continue to dwell there. Accept that possibility because that is true. There's a portion of you that you leave behind, an old you. So you will dwell there. So this even shouldn't even rock you. Right? You're trying to get rid of an entire reality. You can't. They all exist. Hear this. This is really what surrender is. And here's the paradox. Hear this. The paradox is when you move immediately to your new reality, an ideal version of yourself, that releases everything. That releases the old reality. And when you allow that as a possibility, you move immediately to your new reality. Hear this. So when you move to your new reality, it releases it. And then as you accept it and allow it as a possibility, it moves you to your new reality immediately. You get there anyway. Either way, you're going. Right? So the paradox is you move immediately to your new reality, an ideal version of yourself. This releases all resistance to any and all part of all that is. Right? Because remember, you're one with all that is. So you're releasing all that resistance within you and within all that is. All of that goes away, right? All that is doesn't have any resistance. It's just you creating it, creating an illusion of resistance, right? Not even resistance doesn't really even exist, right? This gives you total creative control to move between alternative parallel realities at will. That is powerful. So remember what Neville Goddard said, that it's your conception of yourself that creates your state of consciousness, or who you are being creates the state you're occupying. This is what he said. If your conception of yourself is less than that which you claim is true of God, you have robbed God. Hear this. Thinking anything is impossible, that you can't move to that higher state, you can't occupy that state, you're robbing God. This is where when Barabbas, it was Pontius Pilate, had Jesus and had Barabbas as prisoners. And then it was Passover. And the tradition was they have the crowd decide, the people decide who they're going to release. Either the robber or the Son of God, right? The King, Jesus or the Son or the robber, right? Who are they going to release? So Barabbas said, do you want to release Jesus, or do you want to release Barabbas, the robber? And they all yelled out, "Release Barabbas! Release Barabbas! Release the robber!" Right? Not this man, but Barabbas. Now, and then it says in John 18:40, now Barabbas was the robber. Right? Hear this. You're releasing the robber that's robbing you of that higher state. That old 3D state, you're letting it go. That old 3D you, you're letting it go. You're letting go Barabbas, that lower state of consciousness. And then you're occupying or rising to that new state, to that ideal state. That's what the message is, right? They didn't want to release Jesus. They wanted to release Barabbas, the old state. That's Barabbas, remember, represents your old state, represents that old version of yourself. So in Scripture, when they say release Barabbas, it means release that old version of yourself, release that old reality. Keep this man, right? That is your new state. Occupy that new state of consciousness, that Christ within you, right? That's big. So release the old you that is robbing you of your ideal reality and desired version of yourself. Your 3D world experience is determined by your current concept of yourself, the state of consciousness you are occupying. Right? That's what the 3D world is. And if you don't have that high ideal concept of yourself, then you cannot occupy that reality where that alternative version of you is living it out, right? That's what we're talking about here. That's what Neville was getting at. So, and I wanted to touch on the conscious, the subconscious, and the infinite. This is how we normally think of it. Think of it, it's all one mind. Right, the infinite mind, God's mind, the mind of God. It's all one. We're one with that. But within our own personalized version of that one mind, we have our own conscious choices that we make. And then we have our own personal atmosphere of the subconscious. That's part of the greater subconscious of God. Right? Our subconscious is part of the greater subconscious. And in this, we can consciously choose that ideal version of ourselves. Right? And then we can believe it, feel it, and identify with it, identify as it. And that's that happens through our imagination and our subconscious, right? That happens within. Right? We create, remember, this is the inner state. We create that inner world, right? We declare it, we assume it, and we create the inner world that then will manifest it in the outer world. That inner world is connected with God, with infinity, with all there is. So God and infinity, that greater subconscious, will move you towards your desire, will move you to that new version of yourself, will move you to that desired state. Wow, that's big. Right? Persist in being the new version of yourself, right? So it's not just that we get conscious thoughts and those are then impressed on the subconscious. It's also the subconscious feeding thoughts to the conscious mind, right? Based on emotions or something triggers us, right? And then we remember something, and then that's why that memory comes up to our conscious mind from our subconscious. Right? That's what happens when we feel like we're triggered. But none of that's bad because we have conscious control over it. Right? And we can start creating that new world within our subconscious. So we're not trapped, we're not sabotaged by old beliefs. We can just think new beliefs, think new thoughts, create new feelings, and create a new state within. And then that old state fades, right? And so it goes like this, but again, you can just simply go right to I am that I am. Go right directly to source. We've talked about this, right? You can meditate on this. Go to infinity, right? And then you'll get downloads from infinity. You'll get that's your intuition. Those are messages from God or all that is, or your higher being, that larger part of you that gives you those messages in your subconscious, and those messages then become conscious. So you can go this way or that way, right? It's all you anyway. You can become the master creator of your reality. You get to decide. Wow, that's big. So I want to talk about all that is needed, really. And we think it's a complicated process, but I think I debunked that it's really simple. You just declare who you're going to be. You declare the state you want to occupy. All that's needed to shift your reality and transform your life is a simple declaration, assumption, announcement of that ideal version of yourself right now in that now moment. Right? It's so simple. It's a declaration. It's like, think about this. When you declare that, when you step into that, you're changing all realities. Right? It's like, remember we talked about throwing a pebble into the lake of infinity, right? From the moment of now. From this now moment, when you send that new belief, that new version of yourself, that you decide and declare that you're that new version of yourself, you send a new pebble of belief into that lake of infinity. That sends out all new ripples throughout time. And it changes your past, it changes your present, and changes your future. We've talked about that, like the flap of a butterfly's wings, right? They talk about the butterfly effect of a butterfly wing. That sends out powerful ripple of intention into infinity that changes your past, present, and future reality immediately, right? So you don't need to analyze or worry or fear or effort or any of that struggle, because remember, your greatest power requires the lightest touch. That greatest power is your attention to assume and declare who you are. That's your greatest power, and such a light touch. There's nothing to fear. You just step into it from the now moment. That's big. So here's a cool little fun technique that I want you to try. I call it the 007 double agent technique, because a lot of you have said that I feel that I'm trapped in this 3D, that I can't leave this version of myself. But here's the thing, guys. You have fun with it. In fact, pretend that the 3D you is your cover. It's your pretend identity. And the real you, the new version of yourself, is your real identity, who you really are. Right? That's your double agent technique. This is the double agent technique. So you're going to say the 3D you, or that old reality, is your cover. Right? And you don't want to blow your cover. Tell no one who you really are. Tell no one that you're the new identity of yourself, right? Because that's just going to blow your cover, right? So tell no one this is who you really are. That you're one with infinity. That you're now you've redefined yourself in this new ideal version of yourself. Don't tell anyone. They're going to figure it out, but you don't have to tell them. Pretend instead that you're the 3D you. Have fun with this. Do you hear what the power in this? It takes the edge off it. No longer are you struggling to leave it because you know it's just pretend. Then you can just drop it as you have fun pretending. Your friends and family will start figuring it out, that you are this new person. Like your life is shifting around you. Money's coming to you. People are falling all over, head over heels for you. Right? The reality's shifting all around you. You're getting job offers, you're getting compliments, right? Life is just becoming one celebration after another. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out, oh, that person's no longer that 3D. You're no longer that 3D you. And you're going to go, you got me, right? You blew my cover, right? That's the power of this double agent technique, right? So you're not struggling to pretend you're this new identity. You're pretending that you're the old identity, the identity that you think is so real right now, that 3D you. You're pretending that's your cover, that's your double agent cover. Your true identity you're going to keep covered for now, right? And just go about and just keep intending that's who you really are. That's who you really are. Your true identity is that new version of yourself. You're pretending that 3D you. This is really, guys, where it reverses the whole, this drops all resistance now to that 3D. You should see an immediate shift. Right? That really is how to shift instantly to that ideal version of yourself. And the 007 double agent technique to shift identities. I am the host. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, or Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen. And don't forget, you can comment and ask questions on the channel. If you comment under the video, and if you would like me to, I can post those on the Be Something Wonderful community board. Or you could send me questions at info at besomethingwonderful.com. And while I might not be able to answer all the questions, I certainly can post them on the Be Something Wonderful community board. And if you want those to be privately, I'll do that anonymously. Or guys, if I'll even try to answer some of them if I can. But if I can't, we'll definitely get to them. We'll get them on the community board, or you can comment on a video. This is Tom. Until next time, with great love, see you soon.